Welcome back to some new r/malicious compliance stories, where people comply to the letter, but not the spirit of a request. I hope you had a great day. Thanks for all the likes and comments on the last video. And now let's start with the first story. It's called Extra Income. About 20 years ago, I was applying for food stamps. During the interview, I told the caseworker, just to be honest, that I made a little extra money each week collecting and returning soda cans, 5 cents a pop. She paused, then told me I'd need to report that every time, because it counted as extra income. Okay, you want documentation? I can document. The next morning at 9:30 AM, I gave her a call. Hi, it's me. I found a nickel can. At 10, I called again. Hi, me again. Found another can. 11, another can. Another call. By the afternoon, when I made my 5th call of the day, she picked up and sighed. You no longer have to report your extra income. Never heard another word about it. The next story is called Teenage Boss. I've been working at a poultry farm for about a year now. It's legal for 14-year-olds to work in agriculture in my state, and I've always been one of the hardest workers there. I had some brief legal trouble, but on the job I was productive, intuitive and well liked by management. Eventually the farm owner bought some new land. Management decided to split things up and appoint a few assistant supervisors to help out. I got the job. At 15, assistant supervisor. Now enter her, one coworker who could not stop whining about the patriarchy and how she wasn't getting paid enough. In truth, she was lazy, always on her phone, never helping and constantly dodging work. One day I overheard her talking to another worker, saying she should have gotten my promotion, that I only got the job because I was a suck-up. Not 5 hours later she comes up to me, asking for a raise. Said she figured I'd say yes because I'm young and easy to push around. I was about to turn her down flat, but then I had a better idea. See, the guy who used to handle race duty had just left, and that job paid $3 to $4 more per hour than the regular work. Unpleasant? Absolutely. Vacant? Also yes. So I smiled and said, great, I actually have just a job for someone trying to earn more. And I put her on race duty. She still works here. I'm still her assistant supervisor. And wouldn't you know, she hasn't had a single complaint about my management since. Turns out you don't have to be older to be in charge, just smarter. The third story is called Rules Are Rules. Growing up, my younger brother was obsessed with his privacy. Totally fair, but he took it to a whole new level. He'd yell if I even walked near his stuff. One time his phone was ringing right next to me, so I reached to hand it to him. He snatched it away and snapped, "Stop touching my stuff. Never touch anything that's mine. Ever. Alright?" Message received. A while later I noticed he'd left his laptop teetering on the edge of the table. Charger stretched across the floor like a trapwire. I saw it, reached out to move it, then remembered the rule, so I didn't touch it. About 30 seconds later he walked by, tripped over the charger, and his laptop slammed to the floor. He completely lost it. "Why didn't you move it?" I just looked at him and said, "You told me never to touch your stuff." He was furious. My parents backed me up. Rules are rules. He stopped making blanket demands after that. The last story is called Community Spirit. I moved into a non-HOA neighborhood in late July. Everything was fine. Quiet, peaceful, no drama. Until the day after Halloween. I found a snarky little note taped to my door. "If you can't even afford a lousy pumpkin, maybe you can't afford to live here." Wow. Okay. Thanksgiving rolls around and another note. "You better start showing some community spirit. Or else." Still no name. Just the same petty energy. I filed a police report, but they couldn't do much without proof. Fine. That was my cue. Time for some malicious compliance. I went out and bought lights, garlands, tinsel, and every couple days in December I added more. Bit by bit the house turned into a festive, glittering beacon. Then Christmas Eve, the grand finale. I plugged in every light, flipped the switch and let it all shine overnight. But the piece de resistance? A glowing 6-pointed Christmas star at the top. Christmas morning I woke up to shouting and pounding on my door. I cracked it open, put the security latch on, and there he was. Some angry neighbor, red in the face, ranting that my star had 6 points instead of 5. And then, oh, it got ugly. He launched into a hateful tirade full of slurs and threats. That's when I smiled, because right behind him, pulling up quietly, was a police car. 2 officers stepped out and approached. He must have noticed my grin, because he turned around mid-rant and froze. Next thing I knew, he was in the back of that patrol car. I went downtown and filed the official complaint. Even testified in court. He got fined and sentenced to community service. I got to keep my decorations up, hassle-free, for the next 2 years. Before I moved out of state. Score 1 for community spirit. Thanks for watching the video to the end. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe. And if you have time, watch another one of my videos. Also, if you want to support me further, check out the channel membership or Patreon. And now, I hope you have a great day. See you soon. Bye bye.